So I'm again here for this very interactive live session on street portraits. Right. So best thing about street portraits, they are very close to our heart because when we go out, travel, meet people, see each other, so we feel a lot of warmth together, right? So and of course with your camera when you go out and take their pictures and they feel happy, so you also feel happy, isn't it? I know we all are missing going out, but we'll take it as a reset button for ourselves. We'll refresh our vision during that course, and when we go out, then we will be in full swing. Yeah. So the first thing I would like to tell everyone is read a lot of books and see each other's work, take inspirations, and then of course we can be a better photographer with a lot of practice, right? So first shot, I'll just show you one of the shot which is like something on street, but like a lot of people together. So sometimes it's more of a complex situation where we need to capture the spirit, the action, the moment, right? So this is one from the Republic Day parade, and very vibrant and lot of movement, involvement, and or maybe something here which is again a very environmental style portraiture and taking a picture of multiple subject. And so these situations always are on street where you find a lot of people together, and taking those moments are very precious for all the photographers. So how's the Josh, like maybe this picture if you see, so I need to know how is your Josh in lockdown. So and I invite everyone to participate and post one picture of your favorite street portraits, right? And tag me. I will feature the best of the lot on my page, which is that Insta page where we are live right now. So that could be a good interaction with each other, and I need to know how things are on your side and how you are doing, right? So again on the same series. So now see the attraction is on the one soldier, and then the rest are little away from the depth of field, and it makes so appealing, like so they look so good, right? So and then something of colors and travel and beauty, which is again a very travel oriented environmental portraiture where you will have some graffiti on the wall and somebody in the foreground, right? So we normally get a lot of queries on what lenses are required, and what we need to do when we are out for taking a portrait on street. So I will say, like, three lenses are very important. If you think you are more into tight close-ups where you are taking head and maybe half body, so I would recommend 85 millimeter would be the perfect call of the day. So 85 millimeter or 135 millimeter, both lenses are very vital for taking those head studies. And if you want little environmental style images, so 35 millimeter wide is what I am using normally for my street style images, and of course environmental portrait as well. So these two lenses, and that very versatile lens you all have, whether you are APS-C sensor camera owners, like maybe you are using 1650, you are using 18135, which is the first kit lens, works fantastic for taking most of the images and portraiture on street, because you have the advantage of taking a zoom lens, and according to your style you can change the perspective, you can take close-ups, you can take a wider shot. So normally I prefer when I am taking a zoom lens, so I take two bodies normally. So the for my street portraits, 2470 2.8, I take it along, and then the second lens would be your any of the prime. 85 works very good for me. So 85 would be my lens. If you say what kind of lens is your favorite, so I'll say 85 would be the best thing. So as far as streets goes, when we are approaching the subject, it's very important to don't pose them at first go, because normally people have that tendency to go there and they start talking to them, or they then just start posing them. So my take would be maybe just take them candid, what they are doing, just take their picture, and then you decide what is your take on that. I will take questions also in between, as and when. So 50 millimeter, Joel is saying 50 millimeter. What about 50 millimeter? Of course, 50 millimeter would be the very, very good lens for taking portraiture where you need to show some spaces around on street. And I would recommend both are very good. 1.8 or 1.4, both are good. So you can carry those 50, 85, 135 lenses. That would be very good. So maybe in between, I'll make sure to show you a couple of images also. Like when we talk of a city like Varanasi, where a lot of subjects all around, and then it's difficult to judge, what is your main subject there. So very important is to focus somewhere where the viewer's eye will always see that thing. So I'll show you one picture with a lot of people together, but then you will always make out what is the key area where the photographer is emphasizing. So check out this image. Hope you all are seeing these images, right? Anyone can just reply me yes, we can see these images. Yeah, so now see, this image has a lot of these what you call spiritual they are learning Hinduism in Varanasi, and you have a lot of people around. So now the attention seeker is in the center with those glasses on. So you can make out the main emphasis is he is the key in the picture. And normally people say that don't put your subject in center. I will say you need to compose all styles of images. So this is just bang on in the center. He is the key, and he is sitting in the center with all the other guys all around. So I've used this lens which is 24 1.4 G Master. So I like that lens very much because it's a prime lens and it's a 24 millimeter lens, and it gives me a great corner to corner sharpness when I'm taking these kind of pictures. So this is again a very, very environmental style of a portrait, and a lot of story involved. See this one. So good that you can speak and you can show the images right now. So queries, of course, we will be taking one by one, don't worry. So again, this is from a Kutch. We were on photo tour to Kutch many times. Like every year we make it a point to be there in December, January, and a lot of fun because it's a different terrain altogether. A lot of people, you can see the faces are so different and eyes are so charming. So the bunch of young guys, they are happy to see somebody shooting their pictures and sparkling eyes, and now you see edge to edge, everything is covered up. So maybe you can say this type of composition is like where you go very close to your subject and you are filling the composition with the subject itself, right? So same applies here, right? So now the picture is like from Pushkar, but the picture is they are just warming their hands and early morning shot and a lot of cold environment that time, and they are there. So the composition is starting itself from the shoes which were kept little far. So again a super wide style of environmental portrait. So I will be moving from complex situations like shooting a lot of people together, and then one by one we'll simplify the art of portraiture with single people there. And again from one shot from Odisha, Puri, and this shot is the girl selling balloons. Then I make sure I made it a point that my frame should be like corner to corner, it should be balloons. So background should not be cluttered at all. So again, simplifying the background, then the eyes are the beauty, so eyes can't be missed. So this is one from there. So again, if you can see one more, this is from Spiti and Himachal Pradesh, and then again the frame style composition. So lot of architecture value to this image. Green color is also adding, or something on this lines like something on from Pushkar. So again, the lady was inside, like it's like maybe you can say it's a caged, or it's like sitting alone, or it's like isolation, right? So those lines work fantastic, and whenever you are with these kind of lines, so make sure that your lens is just parallel to your subject, so that least distortion can be seen on these vertical lines. Very, very important, right? Okay, it's the same girl shoot I have. Okay, very good. So I'm taking the queries also, and then frame within the frame. Of course, Deepak ji is there. Welcome everyone. Deepak ji, welcome you. Of course, frame within frame is one style of composition where is very important in all styles, and we'll go to little low light also, because low light is amazing. We'll go to low light really, but before that, again one more on frames, like okay. So now deliberately, the composition was made in Ladakh. This one, we were going to Pangong Lake during our photo expedition, and then the guy was looking very, very relaxed, and I was using a 24-40 lens, which was a lens for travel. So one lens can do all styles of photography, and I just made it a point to be just on the center, so that I can frame it in the middle of this bridge in making. So that made that framed style of an image, and it's like looking like he's just popping out from the television itself. So this is again one of my very, very favorite image. So something crazy I did with some Holi stuff, like we were in Holi, and we were like making some styles of images, like two separate pictures, portrait, and taken with 85 millimeter. Both were taken in broader sunlight, and then I realized later, like this is the era of Instagramming, and a lot of merging of art and photography and manipulation. So I'll take this assignment as conceptualization of images. Like when you have some concept available, and you need to merge two of your images to make it two split shots into one image. So I tried this thing which looked very, very different by combining the two of the images. I'll show you the final image, and see one more. Right. So now the last two images, they were merged later in Photoshop, and just for some style of image, where you know that these are two images, everyone knows, but then this is more of a conceptualization, like how to merge two different images into one, which tell you some story about the festivity, Holi, and then of course it's a little different from our rest of the images, because the challenge is every year when we go out in a festival like Holi, so we need to create different things for yourself. You can't repeat your style all the time. So see one more, like two images. Just register these two images in your mind, right? And I will show you the merge image just after this. And just hang on. Just look at both the images carefully, okay? And here we go. 1 and 2 and 3, right? So both images merged. You can make out left is a different human being, and the right is a different sadhu, but then you can do that style. Okay. So now, very, very important, as we mentioned also earlier, like simplifying the images are very, very important. We need to simplify when it comes to portraiture, and there is a technical thing which we always do in portraiture is always focus on the eye. So eye is the key when we are doing anything related to portraiture and people, because eyes are said to be like the mirror of the soul, right? So it means the eye need to beautify. I will show the face, the looks, the beauty. So take this image, right? So the curl of the hair and the innocent look was so attractive that you need to do focus bang on the eye, because without that the picture will look very, very annoying, because sometimes people just focus on the nose rather. So then if the depth of field is very shallow and you are working on a full open aperture of f2 or 2.8 even, so you will find that the critical focus on the eye would be lost, right? So always very important. And just check out this picture, the one of my favorite image for portraiture, and then it's again one example, like where you can see that like the frame is just settled in the blue background itself, so no more spaces, right? I'll show you again this image, right? So it's like the frame is just blue, and then the pretty innocent face with sparkling eyes. She was sitting just in a bus stop with the family in Pushkar, and I saw her, and 7200 was the lens that time with me, and so I thought maybe this could be the best lens to get those powerful face. And when you are with long tele lenses like 85 and 7200 or 135 millimeter, so you maintain a space between your subject, so then finally the image would be very, very relaxed, so you won't get distortion on the faces. So that would be the best thing. So we'll take up some more on this idea. This you can take these pictures like simplification of the images, where we say that you need to have kiss when you are taking portraiture. Kiss means keep it simple, silly, right? So you need to simplify the background. Many times the beauty is all in the attire and the face. You don't need to show anything at the back. So best theory that time would be like you go very close to your subject and throw the background in shallow depth of field. Use a wider aperture. I normally, what I do when I'm using 1.4 lenses, so normally my portrait would be somewhere in f2 and 2.8. That's it. I will never go in direct sunlight and use aperture 11 or 16 for my portraiture, unless I am taking group or multiple pictures. Otherwise, I will always go straight on f2 aperture and high shutter speed of maybe 4000. And then, because light is very, very bright, if you see on 100 ISO, if the light is 250 f8, so when you are shooting on a f2 aperture, the shutter goes up to 4000 of a second or 2000 of a second. So it's very, very important to throw that cluttered background just away. So see this one. So again, beauty lies in the eyes, and you will get these people every time when you go out. Only thing is you have to keep the eyes of your brain open, so your vision should be open to see them. And so without talking, without even, and then again a very, very different picture from the series, but then the same lines shot in Kalpa, Himachal. So I'm showing you portraits from my country, India, and maybe you can say these are Paul's people. So I have came across these people on the go, on the travels. Of course, we were mentoring people there that time, and then we all are together. We are taking pictures, and good thing we go back and see all pictures don't look same, because everyone is shooting with their own vision, with a different perspective. So that makes you very, very different from others, right? So I hope I'm clear on this topic. So simplification of the images are important, you can pen down, and then of course the other one is focus on the eye, because eyes are the mirror of your soul. So you need to focus on the eyes to get that punch in your pictures. So if you are shooting and you are always focusing in eyes, so not to be missed, like one more thing are hands. So see me right now, you can see me, okay. So if you compose me like this and my hands are cropped here, so it's a very very bad composition. So you need to take my hand maybe like this, or maybe I'm just relaxing. So these hands, these palms are important. You can't just crop them from the wrist. You can't chop these fingers. Very very important. So again, this story is like on hands. So just carefully see some series of small pictures where you will see the hands only. So beauty of hands. Okay. So I'll switch it. Right. So you don't need to tell that. Of course, this is a holy picture, because it shows that, right? So flying kiss to kiss technique. Wow, flying kiss. Okay, flying kiss is good. We'll do that. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay. So right. So I'll go there. See the other one. Can you see the image full screen now? The portrait. Oh, wow. Okay. Now see the story of hand. So important, right? Right. So it is good. This was like from the recent one, and then this is more of very very in picture right now, because we are maintaining social distancing and we are wearing masks, because corona is very scary, and apna time aayega is very important. Apna time aayega is when we go out and we start our creative work. Of course, that would be the apna time. So all of us should be feeling very energetic when we'll go out, and so very important. See one more from Varanasi, where the girl is like sitting, and of course the hands are again important, and how the hands are looking so beautiful. So in between, when we are shooting portraiture and stuff, so we come across some humorous thing also. We were shooting in Kalpa, and the tripods and everyone was shooting about, we were 12-15 photographers together, and the small young, very very small kid came running and start peeking into the electronic viewfinder of our cameras and on the tripod. So I was just ready with my camera, and I just freeze that moment, like he was enjoying through the lens, and so this is what is photography. Even if you don't know the photography, but then the power of photography will be there always. So next from the line is the lady sitting, and it's from the Jodhpur, and this shot is again very very close knit, and a lot of disturbances was there all the time, and lot of time you will find your subject is in a shade situation, and you are shooting. So don't be afraid, what kind of light it is of the day, you need to capture the beauty of your subject. So I maybe if you see about the lighting, you are shooting men and character and textures, so side light is always welcome. 45-degree light will be very good, but whenever you are shooting portraits of kids and ladies, so frontal light, soft light, reflected light, shade, they work very good, because you see lot of very less texture on the skin, and beauty would be more enhanced. So that could be the best thing when we are shooting portraiture in any style of light. So harsh light will never be appealing on something delicate like kids. So always make sure, of course, if you need some portrait of a man and you need to show the wrinkles or the old age or character, of course you can go with the harsh light, but never try harsh light on delicate subjects. So that is very important. So Kumbh is very fascinating, and it's like every photographer want to go to Kumbh, every pilgrim want to go to Kumbh. So this is a super wide angle lens used for environmental portrait, like you can see the shot, okay. So top shot taken from just the top, and something with the environment where you can see the sadhu driving a bike, and candid style of an image where the appeal is more candid, right? So this is again a very different and important shot of Nagas during the, because they don't sit on one place, they enjoy music, they go out, they are driving the bike. So you need to do all these different shots when you are moving. And when you are on shooting and street, don't be afraid, don't get hesitant about people, what they will say, because end of the day you need to make them comfortable, right? That is very important. So again, one shot where he is enjoying his puff, and it's like धुएं को फिक्र में उड़ाता चला गया. सो वो ये जो डर है हमारा, ये निकालना ही है अपना. धुआं उड़ाएं और फिक्र को भी भगा दें. सो दैट इज द बेस्ट थिंग व्हेन वी आर ऑन स्ट्रीट. So this is from Shillong. So 1635. Yes, 1635. Rushi says that 1635. Of course, very beneficial lens in street where the subject is very streets are narrow and you need to shoot something with the architecture, with the doors and windows all around. Of course, you need to have a 1635. It is remarkable lens and very sharp lens. So normally I'm using that 1635 2.8 G Master nowadays. So very sharp lens. So it's a typical. I'm showing you two pictures of the same sadhu, right? So one is like a shot where you can feel a lot of stuff all around. So it's like taken from a 250 millimeter lens. Can you believe 250 millimeters? So I am like shooting from very far distance to get that frame. And so getting that from 250 millimeter lens, it's a old Minolta lens I have adopted on my Alpha cameras. So it works fantastic. It gives a very pleasing bokeh. And then again another year I found the same sadhu, and he was just holding the beard like for a pose. So you need to realize that you need to crop it. You can't have that holding of this beard or mustaches in your frame, because it looks very artificial and boring. So I thought maybe I'll just take a close shot so that you can't see the hand holding. So it would be, the caption was then given like flying beard or flying mustaches. So that could be one caption you can give. So again, this is again very subtle style of image where background is there, textures are there, but then very subtle colors, all shades of beige and whites and a little bit of browns you can see. So only thing is we need to understand that somebody is sitting there and the background is like that. So where to crop the image, how much you need to take the picture is what is you like. So sorry, but these are not on a tripod, right? No, of course. These pictures are not taken on tripod. These are all handheld pictures, because whenever you are on street, so you have to be very fast when you are taking images. So little bit brief on these pictures I will tell you before we proceed. Normally I carry very very small camera bags because you should not be looking like a pro when you are on street with too many hassles over your shoulders, right? So better is you take your lightweight lenses, cameras, and just hanging, and you just go there and just bang on your subject and take their expression, their images, and just walk around. So don't stay at one place, right? So do you shoot wide and then crop in? Of course, I crop very minimal if required, because if you crop your images more, then you lose megapixel. When I'm shooting on my 42 megapixel cameras or 60 megapixel cameras, of course I need the full frame. So with practice, you make it a point to visualize the frame on the spot. You compose it right there only, and no cropping or very minimal cropping. So sir, tell us something about post production. I will take over and next. Okay, very nice. So let me check the other picture, okay, for you. So now many times we are shooting like mother and daughter, mother and son. It's like more of a motherhood and relation, and a lot of emotions are going together. So one of the shot, like see, now the picture is just the story of mother and child sitting, and by seeing the camera, the pretty girl just looked into the lens, but the mother just wanted to be behind the head because she doesn't want the picture to be taken, right? So we need to make them comfortable. So whatever is available, we need to shoot and just go, because you can't just hinder them with your camera. So this was the picture taken in Bhutan. So again, the story is the eye of the mother is behind the daughter, and then the other picture with this is like there is a hand holding and the support of the mother, but then the girl is the key, right? But the environment is showing you couple of windows at the back, but very centered, composed, and it is again 85 millimeter lens, which work wonderful in these kind of pictures. So you can feel the warmth of those hand holding mother and daughter. So and the daughter is also feeling very beautiful and confident for the camera. So right. So now the three pictures I'll be showing you the story of why we say that old is gold. So every time you will find that we are just combing our hair, and we are just making ourselves look beautiful. So why not old also do that? So see the image where he is now visualizing in the mirror, and now you have to be very spontaneous to get that shot, because this picture was taken with a long tele lens 135 millimeter, and I was just away from the man, and I just saw and what a light falling on the head and the mirror. So this question I am taking very important. Govind is asking, sir, how to understand exposure setting outdoor when we have to practice. So always make a rule, when the background around your portraits are white, so when you do a manual metering, so camera metering inside the your display will always show you 0 and 1 and minus. So it need to be kept on plus, because then you get the exposure on your face. So we say that exposing for the shadows is the the fundamental used for that technique. And whenever there is a dark background behind your subject, the metering should always be shown toward the minus. Never try to make your 0 the metering 0, because then it will be overexposed and underexposed most of the time, right? So see the man in Jodhpur, like standing for the image with the style, and keeping the hands in the waist, and again a backlit situation like these always need a plus exposure, because if you just shoot and your face will always become dark, so you need a little bit of glow in the face, so you need to do plus exposure on this situation. Again a series of old is gold. So three different old men, and they are just uh, earning for their bread and butter. And as a photographer, when you are there, you need to just do justice to their personality. So this guy was selling gajak, and this was in Fatehpur Sikri, and I thought maybe the monuments at the back would be the very very heritage, will give a heritage look. So you need to compose it well, so that the head is in the center and two of the domes around. So that is important. Post production, you a lot of queries on post production. Post productions are maybe important. To be honest, 80 to 90% of the pictures when you take, little bit of post production is required to get them enhanced, or maybe a little bit of cropping, highlight and shadows, brightness, contrast, little bit of sharpening many times. So make sure that you should not be over post production, do over saturation, because then it will not qualify as a street image. That will qualify as maybe more of advertising style of images. So you need to do post production in a very very subtle manner. So that is very important. So I'm showing two of the images of how we do reverse style of composition. So we are talking techniques and aesthetics both in this our session. So important to know both. So again, see this shot. Now the lady is facing this way, okay, and the space is on the other side. Normally it is said that you need to place your subject and make the room where the eyes are. So eyes are here, but then there are interesting subject on this side. So it means you need to compose in a manner that you leave space. So a lot of lines and then shadows on the wall. So deliberately the space was given on the different sides. So I will say this may be a reverse space style composition, or maybe a change in the pace, where everyone at first go they shoot and give space on the other side. So you decide, no, I need to give space on the reverse. So again, see the other one. So lady is seeing here, right? But then a lot of props and colors are on the other side. So the space is given on the other situation. So to just justify the environment, the colors. So this was being done. So as we were discussing, we need to take a low light style of photography, and see one fine example of how low you can go now. So first thing I need to tell you guys that newer cameras with newer sensors are very very good in capturing your picture, your image quality, even in low light situations. So noise would be very very minimal. If you compare the cameras of this era with maybe cameras made 5 years back or 10 years back, you will see the remarkable difference in the quality. So this image was taken in just dark black night in Varanasi, and there was just a lamp, just a light lampshade on from this side was 45-degree falling on the face, and shot on 85mm lens G Master and 1.4 aperture used, and see the bouquets of the light at the back. So they are looking so good, right? So this is how we see those kind of bouquets at the back, and the focus is bang on the eyes. So one new technology is helping us to do that. It's like eye focus. So eye focus is very very advanced innovation, especially in all our Sony full frame cameras and APS-C cameras. You will find animal eye focus is also there. But for humans, when we set a human eye focus and you are shooting, then it's a wonderful thing. You are composing or you are changing the composition, the focus will just go to the eye. So that is wonderful. See another one. So it's a dance form, and you know that Kathakali, and it's in Kerala. Now I was shooting with a 55mm lens, 1.8, and just on a full open, and light on the stages were very very low. You know that indoors are very very less light, so this got me that image. So Kuldeepak ji is asking, on 0 plus minus manual settings will not be available, right? On manual, when you are shooting, you are setting the exposure, then you can see the metering inside your camera, and of course the minus and plus it would be guiding, so you need to follow that. 18-135 lens is a good lens for taking journal purpose portrait, no problem. Only issue is when you are shooting on 18-35 and the light is very poor, it's a low light situation, then it's a little bit of restriction. Otherwise, it's a good lens. I would recommend this for APS-C users. No worry, you can use it. So I'm going through the your queries. Of course, you can send them again. If I miss something to address, please you can just send me the message, because last 15 minutes of course we need to deal with all your queries and we need to answer everything. So how to be comfortable on street when capturing images, very important, and maybe this is the query for everyone, even for street photographers, even for portrait photographers, journalism, everyone. So when we are shooting on street, first is we need to make ourselves comfortable also, because if we are like thinking too much in the brain and we are missing the images, then you miss it, right? So first you need to be relaxed when you are on street, and then you need to make your subject also relax, especially in portraiture, because when you are shooting portraits and you are shooting like eye contact images where the focus is just on the head and he's looking straight into your lens, of course you can do that. You can just make them comfortable, talk to them while you are in a viewfinder. So always make you are shooting and you are talking to them, okay, and then you are changing your composition also. So it's not that you are just keeping the camera there and just talking to them, so it doesn't give you the image. So your camera should be ready on your eye, and keep talking to them, and by the time you feel that light is good, then of course there is a query. 18-135 is not a very very fast aperture lens. I agree, because this is a standard zoom lens for your Fuji camera. So you need to have a prime lens if you need to do low light photography, because those prime lenses are fast lenses. They can allow you to use a fast shutter speed, and then you can get those image quality in low light as well. So you can go and buy that lens. That will be a very very important lens. So RX100 M6 and 24-200 2.8 is good for street, of course, very very good. RX100 camera is fantastic because it's a very very small form factor camera, and you can just keep it in your pocket and you will not look like a pro. It's a very good camera with a Zeiss lens, and then you have a separate viewfinder, electronic viewfinder attached to it, and very very adorable camera. And Rushi, one thing is important to understand, that camera shoots raw, so you can take a professional quality of images also with that. So that is very very important. So now we were talking about low light. This picture of a sadhu was taken in a Nasik Kumbh. I still remember 2015, and newly launched lens 135 1.4 was in my hand that time, and this I'll show you the image. So this image was made in pitch dark, no light, only the lights around the ghat. So it's a challenging situation where the light is very, very low. So 1.4 f2 lens do wonders in portraying that kind of portraits where you need to show a little bit of environment, and then you need to show the details and ISO. ISO doesn't matter now in a modern camera. So I'm using this A9 Mark II camera, which is recently launched by Sony. So anytime when I'm shooting in low light, I will never see ISO. Maybe it's high. I know that it will give the highest quality even in low light situation. So I keep on shooting in those low light areas, and because it's important, you need to take the picture. That is more important, right? So keep your queries on, because I am just reading all of them and trying to get them solved for you. Of course, Amit asked, sir, shutter priority or aperture priority for street portraits? Very, very important query. I would recommend, when you are shooting on street and the situation is very fast moving, always make sure to use aperture priority, because at times you decide that I need depth of field, I need to have a 5.6 aperture. So then if you are on aperture priority, you set the aperture, the shutter speed will go up and down according to the change in light. Okay, so whenever you are shooting on f2 aperture and suddenly you will see that your picture is overexposed on manual mode, because you forget to step up the shutter speed to 4000 or 2000 depending on the light. So when you are on aperture priority, it take care of the shutter automatically. This aperture would be static and it will be moving, like your shutter would be moving according to the light. Bright light, it will even go to 4000 of a second. And always remember, whenever we are shooting portraits on the go, so 125th and 250th, both shutter speeds are important. So you can't go like really to 30th or 60th, because then there would be little shake in the images. And if you are shooting in low light, you have no choice. Then of course your image stabilization will freeze the subject, because your handshake would be frozen with those image stabilization. Even your 5-axis body stabilization and lens together take care of about 5 stops. So it helps you. So 50mm, of course, we discussed that. Of course, yeah, you can use a 50mm lens. Which lens would you be better, or 35 or 35mm would be very good, quality would be better, but then at times you need a zoom lens, so zoom is important. So, and then very important is, we are in a lockdown situation, but then our creativity should not be hindered. You should feel that you need to search your old pictures and previous work, see them, learn more things, and then of course you will go out with a fresh appeal, like you will see the world in a different manner when you go out. Yellow tinge on the face, how to handle the yellow eyes and almost yellow tinge on the face. Okay, Lina is writing. So I would recommend you to do the white balance very, very correct, because whenever your white balance is erratic, there would be the cast in your pictures. So if you are not very sure what white balance to be used on Kelvin mode, then auto white balance works very good, because when you do on a auto white balance, it takes care of your color, and it could be a better way to do it in fast situations. Auto ISO, Ramesh is asking about auto ISO. Of course, when your subjects are moving very fast and you are shooting in change in lights, so auto ISO is recommended. Only thing is, you need to set the 2 parameters of the ISO, which are the range. So the upper range should be kept around 3200 to 6400 ISO, depending on what sensor you are using, what camera you are using. And then the minimum you can set it to 100, so it will go between them. And if you find your camera is giving more noise in low light, So maybe bar your ISO to 2000 only. So from 100 to 2000 you can set the parameters for the ISO, and that would be very good. Okay, why you prefer low aperture to get street pictures? So no, I use both apertures. If you see the picture like these, again I'm showing you. Now this is on a larger aperture because we need to show more depth of field. So whenever I'm shooting something like very very tight, where I need just focus on the eyes, then I use a wider aperture. Otherwise, of course, 5.6 works very good. It gives you some depth of field. It shallow you also with something. How to use low shutter speed in street photography. So whenever you are shooting on street, and of course you know that the light is very very dim, and you need to have a shutter speed of 30th or 115th. Then you have the lens which is image stabilization, and you have a body maybe with a 5-axis stabilization. So one point you need to remember that it won't freeze the movement of your subject. It will only take care of the handshake of your camera. That is the stabilization. So, and good thing is you need to take your images with your viewfinder, not with the screen, because screen would be maybe a little shaky, and it's not that stable. But when you see from the forehead and it's aiming, you will feel more confident, and it would be more sharp. The image would be more sharp. So I tried myself like 1/8, 1/15 shutter I normally used many times. So, and you won't see the shake when your subject is not moving. Of course, if your subject is moving, then it is not really possible to do that, right? So which place is the best for street photography? Oh, best place. So best place everywhere you will find images. So it's not that any place is best for street photography. But of course I will say that Old Delhi is fantastic, and Varanasi is very good for street because it's a more like a holy city, and you will find a lot of amazing colors, and all our festivals are beautiful. And you know that Ramzan are already started, so it's a holy month of Ramzan, and you will find a lot of pictures we'll be posting from our stock on Eid and preparation, because because of lockdown it's not possible to go out right now to shoot images, so it's like full of fun. So guys, keep your queries on. Even on our Instagram you can send and tips for mobile Snapseed. Okay, Snapseed is very good software. I normally, when I am on mobile, I use Snapseed software, but only for a rough post production, because final images will always go through my Photoshop, and I am a oldie, like using Photoshop when they launch in digital world. So I'm not very good in Lightroom, because I prefer using Photoshop. So most of my pictures, all my posts would have a little bit of correction and very close to the original. And what sort of motion blur can be captured on street? Motion blur, of course, you can do zoom effect. It's very very in these days. And sir, necessary to check with specific genre. Yeah. And thank you, I'll travel photographer. Okay, a lot of travel photographers are already sending the queries, and I think we have 5 minutes more. So before that, I'll just show you one thing which you can just pen down, the tips which we already discussed in our session, and you can just see that. Okay, and you can just note down these editing software. I make it a point that for me, when I'm editing, so 1 minute per picture is what I need, because I don't have much time to do. right? So for me it works like I do it very very fast, right? So if you have if you take care of your exposures while you are shooting, you have to end up doing post production very very minimal. If you don't work on your exposures on when you are on street, then you are just doing Photoshop and doing Lightroom to make your picture look appealing. So better to do it when you are shooting. That is important, right? So don't worry, I'll repeat of the first thing always I will say, because this I learned from my mentor S. Paul, legendary S. Paul. Wear your camera. If your camera is there on your shoulder, you will never miss the images, okay? And then comfort zone, we need to be out. Like if we are sleeping at home, there are no pictures. Human touch is important. We need to respect people when we are shooting their image. If they say no, it means no, right? And then simplifying the images is the most difficult thing to do, right? If you need to simplify your images, it would be very good. And then freeze the moment. The moment should be there. Some life should be there in your images when you are doing street portraiture. And then go close and fill the frame. It's the call of the day, right? So I hope you all enjoyed our session on street photography. So next time we'll come with a new set of lessons, and then of course a new thing. So it's like 1 minute left, and enjoy your time with your family, and in the meantime just practice more with your camera. That is important, because now we have time to practice with our camera. So last but not the least, I will show you the best frame of my, one of my most favorite frame. So you will know that, okay, oh, this could be the composition which you can also make. So, and in the meantime, I'll just check the final queries, what all you are sending. Okay. So thank you very much everyone for joining in. So you know that it's only 1 minute left for this session. So next week or within 10 days, we'll be back with more stuff. And till then, you just need to enjoy my favorite post. But before that, keep in touch, guys. So you need to call us. You can, email us. And you will find us on Instagram. You will find us on Facebook, everywhere. We are there if you want us, okay? So if you like, you will always follow us. And the last but not the least, the best frame is this, which I have taken so far. Okay, so it means I haven't taken the best frame, so it's still going on. So the creativity, the mind should be working 24/7 to achieve that frame. Okay, so this could be the thought of the day before we go. Okay, and remember, this frame on the top is the best frame. Take care. Bye bye.